Khera, and I'm so happy to be talking to you today about your life after the stage.
Thank you so much.
Would you, be willing to introduce yourself a little bit and just let the women know, Khera, what's your mission in the world? What are you up to? What do you care about?
I am Khera de Famille. I am coach, speaker, and the designer of my program is Feminine Leader Exponential. And my mission in the world is really to help women to be able to develop their own visibility, their own presence at the highest level of corporate in France and in countries speaking French.
Wow, that's a huge mission because we know the challenges that you're facing. Khera, why now? Like, why does this matter to you right now? Why is it critical in the world to you?
What I'm seeing and what is in all the countries in the world, whatever the political regime, whatever the religion, is that women are absent when it's time to take decisions and influence the world. And then I think it's really, really important. Most of the time, why there is no women at the highest level is because it's a part of our history. In that situation of visibility or authority, all our competencies, all our experiences, all our power is like minimized and freeze, and it's impossible to be able to be safe at this level. Then I am working with them to be able to disconnect all these old mechanisms and help them to be aligned between their ambition, their dream, their vision, and their competencies, and not be anymore freeze in that situation of authority or responsibility or visibility.
Well, I'm so interested in this. And what makes you the authority to teach this?
I developed a program, a huge program, to be able to give to guide her for 1 year. It really developed developmental and transformational program, and also my ability to go through this adventure to be able to go
Right.
in every place where they will go after me, and be able to show the road and really be able to present their emotion in that moment, their fears, their self-doubt, to help them to disrupt that.
I love that because you are the consummate model of already having gone down that same path. I'd love you just to share briefly, what was your life like before you joined, you worked with me and Bold and Visible?
Before to come in the Bold and Visible workshop, I was already a coach for 15 years, and with a lot of experience, a lot of customer, a good reputation. I did so many things, and I was still having difficulty with like mechanism, but like a reflex. I don't know if I am clear and if it's the
Yeah.
right word in English, that even if I know that I was safe in all the situation, that the people in front of me was not dangerous or was not liking me, or I was freezing in that situation of visibility, or when I was outside my comfort zone. And that was really a problem, because I have really difficulty for sleeping, to sleep. That's impact a lot my life, a lot of anxiety, pain in my body, when always, because I was so determined, so I have ambition, objective, but always when I have to try to reach my objectives, I need really to go through a big amount of energy, anxiety, and body pain. And then, yes, that was my situation before to do the workshop Bold Visible.
Well, I just know that so many of the women in my community will resonate with what you're saying, because it's kind of a paradox that we're experiencing, being these incredible women, talented, already successful. And yet there's this thing, and we call it the 5%, but it's this place where we're frozen. It stops us, and it shows up in our body, shows up in our anxiety, shows up in our sleep, in like this foot on the gas, foot on the brake. Like, we are not really stepping into this larger thing. And it makes so much sense for you, Khera, because you are really up to something massive. And that kind of thing takes a lot more risk than everything else we've done before. We are prepared, but it's much bigger risk showing up that way. So that makes so much sense. Can you share a little bit about what shifted through our work together, and your level of confidence, and just maybe a little bit about the process getting to the stage, which is part of our work?
Just before to speak about that, I would like to share another thing. It was the most painful for me was my self-sabotaging old mechanism. I was my worst enemy with this self-sabotaging, and I can really see me doing some stuff totally stupid and really breaking my relationship, or really hard to see me doing that. And I was totally, I didn't have any possibility to disrupt that. And that was really important, because in so many times, I was my worst enemy, even if the world is not really welcoming for the women who have a lot of power. But I know that. But if I put the ball in my head alone, it was so painful for me to do that. And then when I came to Bold and Visible, that was my first objective. It was to stop this behavior, the self-sabotaging behavior. That was my first objective, really to be able to not control, but be in peace with me, and not anymore acting or reacting with fears and stress, and killing my own project alone.
Yeah. And so I really am excited to talk to you about where you are now. Can you give us a little transition about what dropped in for you when you came to the studios in Calgary at the end of the process, and we were working just before you got to the stage to tell your story? What shifted for you?
I have so many awareness. The first, it was we were surrounded by an incredible cohort of women, and see the transformation of the women was first a big transformation for me. To see really the women be aware of old behavior, like I'm speaking like this, trying to be nice, and then blocking my body. Yes, they're cute. And the second, it was, I think that to speak out loud in front of other women is really transforming. And with your help, you were so warm, with the presence and something. I'm going to cry. I saw, it was so amazing, because always when you saw me vulnerable, you've been here to ask for the right question and help me to be able to express out loud what was happening in my body, in my head and my heart. And this possibility to express it was really incredible, because that made me shift in a way that I wasn't able to imagine. And yeah, it was really...
Well, I love it, because we call it dropping in to who you are. And I just remember you on the stage at the Grand Theater in our sold out audience in your red dress, just so full of who you are, not trying, just powerfully speaking, taking up space. You had fun. I remember the audience actually laughed at a couple of parts and cried at a couple of parts. And this way of you just landing in who you are was so remarkable, so remarkable. So can you tell us, I'd love to hear all the goods, because several things have unfolded for you after the stage. I love you to tell us all about that, when you went back to France, and maybe we can end our conversation with what just happened on International Women's Day.
Yeah. Then when I come back in France with my president position that I work a lot, a journalist called me and asked me to be present on a television studio. But she called me the Thursday night and she asked me to be present the Friday morning.
Whoa.
First of all, it was like, okay. And first of all, my head said, no, you will not do that. You don't have the time to prepare. I really used to prepare a lot, and I know that I would be with another women really famous. I don't know her, nothing, and I said, okay, I feel my heart, I feel my body, and I said, okay, totally scary. Perhaps you will be really sucks, but go, do it. And then I said, okay, I will be. I work all the night to know about who was my the other woman, what she's doing, and I listen for all their podcasts to be able really to understand and give a direction to this talk, to be able to give something interesting in really align with my mission and what I want to share to my audience.
Mm-hmm.
And also really align with what the other woman was doing. And I was so close from her work. Then I work all the night. And in the morning, I did 2 hours of sport, somatics, working my voice, working my everything. And I went to the television show thinking, okay, don't be scary. Stop to read what you wrote before. Yeah, be yourself and everything will be okay, because sometimes it's really important to let the control, as we did during, because I thought, oh, it's really less scary to be in front of a camera with the journalist that she's really nice than in front of 450 people in the theater. Then I realized, okay, in the theater, people were so kind and so welcoming. And so many women told me, oh, I resonate with your story, even if I have a big French accent. And we were so close. And I thought, okay, in front of a camera, I just have to follow the red light and speak as a president. Then I decided to do that. And it was so cool, so nice. And we have a really nice relationship with the journalist. She's a woman, and she said, okay, what you are saying is really interesting. I want to keep in touch. And that is the beginning of the story.
Beautiful. And for those that don't know, when Khera's talking about the president, we worked with Khera in her dropping into the truth of her voice and getting comfortable in her own skin. And one of the things we gave her was to embody being the first female president of France. And as soon, Khera, as soon as you did that, like in the studio, it was like, whoa, oh, that's actually who you are. And so this stature that you have, this confidence. And as I was saying, like when we were just talking before this call, that Ethan, my husband, has seen you on TV in France, and your confidence and stature is just so comfortable and shifted, and just like you are so convincing without trying to be, right? It's so awesome. So what's happened now with that? You've been invited to be a regular, am I correct?
Yeah, now I am every other weeks on television. Then also I am, yes, an expert in. I am going in television as an expert in female leadership and in parity, gender parity. And yes, it's every other weeks I am on the show on the television and in LinkedIn. And yes, it's really nice to be able to share to a larger audience what I have to share, and it's incredible now that we are now.
Well, and what a shift in just full expression and full visibility and taking your work forward. We have to be seen, right? Your mission requires you to be seen. So I know this is so inspiring for all the women coming up who are coming through our VIP work and getting on stage, and even our women in our initial 12-week program who want to craft their own work and are, wondering, why are we doing all this weird stuff we do at the beginning, all the somatics on the floor and all of that. It does result in really releasing the 5%. I'd love to hear, please tell us all about International Women's Day.
The International Women's Day, the Club Med,
Yes.
the corporate company, asked me to do a talk for all the villages of the Club Med, and American villages, South American, African, European, and also ASEAN.
Club Med, is that Club
Club
Med?
Med,
Okay.
yeah. It was 50 villages, then more than 1,000 people. And
Wow.
yeah, and then I give a talk. It's a talk. Normally, I do that talk in French. The name is Pioneers, for the female leadership, and to explain about shame, fears, and isolation, and give data and give new possibility to the women. That is really innovative. And they asked me to do this talk for them for the Women's Rights Day.
Well, I love it. And when you sent me that note over WhatsApp, you shared with me that you actually took the courage to share your story before at the beginning of your talk. Can you tell us about that? And how was it received?
Yeah.
Like, it can be scary. The truth is we don't often, Callie tells you the first thing you need to do is tell your story. And I know it, but it doesn't feel, next time it's going to feel like absolutely, because that's what compels people to you. Share what happened for you. How did that go?
Then I was totally scary, to be honest, really scary, and feeling ashamed, thinking, why nobody is interested by my story, and they prefer the data.
The data, right?
Yeah.
No, they don't. Nobody wants the data.
You know what? I call all my power partners from all over the world to say, would you like to be really nice and let me give you my talk with my story, just to see what will happen when, what will be the impact. They don't know my talk. And I was thinking, it's too long. If I said my story, I will add 7 minutes or 6 minutes. It will be too long. It will be, and I was ashamed. You can't imagine how I was ashamed. Then I did the talk for 5 or I think 5 people who didn't know this talk, and everybody told me, "Oh, I love your story.
Keep your story."
That is one of the most important part. I love that because I can really relate to you and be in your story. And you know what? I know you for years, and I didn't know you because
So then you decided, okay, it's not crazy to get up on stage at International Club Med in Paris with all the Club Meds watching and to start my talk, which normally is data and information and all the good stuff, but I'm going to start it with a story about me, a very personal, vulnerable story. And you did it. What happened?
Yes, I did it. And to be honest, I decided to do it even if my friend and my power partners didn't like it, because I decided to take the risk. I said, okay, I will take the risk because the best way to learn is to take the risk. To be honest, also, I begin again somatics every morning.
Perfect.
Because I really felt my body, with stress and contracting. Then I decided, okay, it's time to do it again for my to be able to
relax,
help my life. Help my what is the name? My head and my
Yeah.
face relaxing. Yes, really to be able to. And
Yeah.
then I did my talk, and I was looking because it was online. I was looking on the people on my on the little window, and I was looking, like this. Always when they were moving, I was thinking, "Oh, I am boring. I am boring." But
Right,
at the
right.
end, I decided, no, with my
Yeah.
powerful declaration,
Yeah.
I am a healing voice in the world. And I
Yes.
know that my voice, when I am really anchored, help people to be to heal, to anchor. Then I decided, okay, don't look at the face. It's not a sign. And at the end, they said, then the number 3 of the cabinet said, "Is it an incredible talk? It's like a TEDx." And I said,
Absolutely.
okay, thank you.
Khera, I love that. So many things I love about it. Your decision that you're not going to base, you don't need anything from your audience. Number two, when your audience, like I learned this the hard way. Of course, I teach the students of the work this. When you're so present with them in your vulnerability, they're feeling themselves. It's a somatic story. And so they're gonna maybe look like deer in the headlights, but they're not. To when, the first time I had a talk and had that happen in an audience, I thought, oh, they hate it. And then they gave me a standing ovation and came in, talked to me afterwards and said, you told my story. We could hear a pin drop, but it wasn't because it was because your story is going right in their heart and they're
Yeah.
feeling their story. So first of all, so cool that you went, no, I'm here. I'm choosing to give it. If it drops on that person or that person, that's up to them.
Mm.
Wow. Yes, so incredible. And think about it. Like, who does that? What powerful woman is so vulnerable and starts with such a, it's not a heavy story, it's not a trauma story. It's a
Mm.
transformational story. You let people in. No one does that.
Mm.
How did it feel afterward when you realized it really was amazing. It really was received.
I think that I feel much more in confidence to be able to use my story and vulnerability and share more about me from this
Right.
place of power. I think I really feel much more confident. And to be honest, it was also a shift because I did it. It was in English. For me, it was a big challenge to speak in English.
Yeah.
I have I love to be perfect. I have a big French accent, and then I was doing tour and tour and tour in my area to be able to speak to put in voice my talk to improve the way I was speaking. And at the end, I felt, yes, much more powerful. Like
Mm.
fear went away, that I'm not anymore feeling fears. It was a part of my life. I thought that all my life I would be living with fears as
Mm.
a really close neighbor, and not anymore. That was really something shift. But
Well, it's so amazing. I encourage anyone watching this video to pop over to the story called Leader of My Life on our YouTube channel. Of course, this will be on our YouTube channel as well. But Khera, so amazing. What we've learned is that we're wired for story. Humans are wired to listen for story. And that when we get into all the data and the great information and all that, it just takes us into our left hemisphere, which actually is so limited and shut down. And it doesn't attract people to us. We think it makes us smart, and also we know our subject, yes, but when you offer the willingness to be in your story and welcome people into who you are, then they're open to listening to the other pieces that you're bringing. They trust you then to take them into that information, and it just builds this beautiful, beautiful cycle. And it also, it attracts people to us. They don't know that the information just doesn't work. I'm so surprised that by this point in our evolution as humans, we don't get that. But the one thing I want to say, I would love to ask you this question, and then we'll sort of slowly wrap up. I just first of all want to celebrate you, by the way. Just incredible, Khera. Just so incredible. And your story is so important, and what you do is so important. What you do is so important. It requires your story and your visibility. But in this day and age with AI and all the fragmentation of our economies, our politics, our communities, ourselves, and not just AI. I'm not an AI hater. I love AI for its uses, but we're disconnected on our phones. We're not, we're more and more isolated. What we need is you letting people in, being human. We're missing that. We're not in communities anywhere more. We're missing, people used to go to church and have cultural communities, and it's really important. And I just want to underscore how important it is for you to keep doing your work the way you're doing it and keep letting people in. What do you feel about that, about this, the changes in our world right now, and how important it is for us to just really be human?
When I see all, there is something that changed my life this year is the fact that we trust more someone who trusts himself than someone competent. And when I see in all the modern country who is owning and taking decision now, perhaps in America they will have Trump. In France, our president is speaking about going in war with the Russia for the Third World War. When we see what's happening in Palestine and Israel, we see that we need this parity, this gender parity. We need to take our space, our place, and take decision and stop to fight and to do war. And it's not something like a woo-woo. No, it's really important now. We have a big problem. And what we hear more is this language of anger, of war, of competition, of I want more, and people are not enough. And I think that, yes, it's really important today to be visible, that the women express their vision. If they don't want war, we have to speak up. We are so competent, so gifted. It's time now to be visible, to express our voice, to express our vision, and to say, no, that is not the future we want. We want something else. We want peace. We want ecology. We want to live in peace with nature, with each other. We want health. We want education. That is what we want. We want heart. We want
well
love.
Said. Well said. We want love. Yes, we want belonging. We want connection, but we also want all the good stuff. That's the structures around us. I love what you're saying. And I really do believe that it's our stories that bring us together across our shared humanity in these polarizing and really destructive times. And so it's this willingness to be seen and speak up and share from this human place, not just the information, because we don't change that way. We don't change that way. Thank you so much, Khera. This has been so exciting.
Thank you.
I can't wait to continue, of course, watching you flourish and unfold. And thank you for being part of the Bold and Visible community. Our community is growing. Our women love you. They study your story in the program, and they're watching you. So you're a role model for our beautiful women.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything that you would like to leave? Any last thought that you would like to leave?
Love, 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 love. Love to everybody who will listen for me, that I can wait to know you and to continue to lead this beautiful adventure.
And one last thing, where's the best place for people to find you, Khera?
In LinkedIn.
In LinkedIn. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. In LinkedIn.
Excellent.
I am communicating 3 or 4 times a week.
Excellent. I noticed that. Perfect. Yeah, you're really engaging on LinkedIn. I love that platform for you. Okay, thank you again. Much love.